Hey there, Scorpio. It's another week. And yeah, I'm very excited. So this is your forecast, your ascendant forecast for the week ahead from Monday, the 1st of December, right the way through to the 7th of December. That's Sunday. Sorry, my little geeky laugh, my excitement. It's because I've got Scorpio rising too. And so when I look at this, I think, oh, this is what's going on for me as well. And I never know what I'm going to say. I've got my charts, and yeah, this is kind of like an astro channel. I hope you know that. So anyway, this is a whole sign Western tropical forecast I'm doing. My name's Louisa, in case you're new. And what I'm going to do is take you on a little tour through the week ahead from Monday the 1st to Sunday the 7th, pointing out all the most notable things and how they might affect you in the week ahead. So just going to bring up my slides now. As ever, I always just put a shout out to the people who support my channel and support me in membership. Thank you so much. Anyway, these are the two charts that I'm going to be looking at. The first one is the chart from going into Monday, the 1st of December at midnight. And we've got the moon in the sign of Aries. And then at the end of the week and the beginning of next week, we've got the moon right at the end of Cancer in a conjunction with Jupiter. You'll also see as I flick back and forth that Venus is right at the start of Sagittarius at the beginning of this, and she's kind of midway in at the end of the week. And Mercury, who very recently, he's going direct today. Oh my God, that's another reason why I'm feeling quite happy. So Mercury, that has been retrograde in your first house, is now going direct today when I'm recording this on the 30th of November, but he's going to be direct from here on in for the rest of the year. And yeah, towards the end of the week, he's getting ready to move into Sagittarius, which he's going to do, on the, I think the 10th or 11th of December. So it's not long now. Anyway, let's have a deeper look. If you're new to this channel and you don't know, what a whole sign Western tropical forecast is, this, like, the chart is always split into 12 sections. This is the first one. These are called houses: first, second, third house, right the way through to the 12th. If when you look at your birth chart, which is really easy to do, you can go on www.astro.com or www.astro-seek.com. They're my two favorites, but there's hundreds out there. You put in your time, place, and date, and it will bring up your ascendant. Now, if when you look at your ascendant or your birth chart, you've got the symbol for Scorpio here, or Sagittarius in this first house, then it's also good to listen to the Sagittarius forecast, because that will also be resonant with you. But anyway, let's start at the beginning here. So on Monday, the big news, and it's not so much because I don't tend to talk about the moon conjunctions with things, in these forecasts for the week ahead, I'm really talking about full moons, new moons, planetary moves, and planet to planet, all the big stuff. But on Monday, one of the things that is occurring is the moon coming into a conjunction with Chiron. And that can trigger you off on anything to do with health and effectiveness and efficiency. To me, it just feels like you've burnt the candle at both ends. And so even though lots of people, when they go into, their week ahead, they're often really, wanting to start with a clean slate, you might actually feel a little bit of residual tiredness as you get going. To me, that's just an indication that it's time to just pay a bit more attention to your body, so that you don't completely wear yourself out. From the 2nd, that's Tuesday the 2nd, the moon goes into your 7th house. Now, every time the moon comes into your 7th house, which happens roughly once a month, occasionally twice a month, according to where it is, but it tends to bring out the crazies in your relationships. So you might find that your partner seems a lot more emotional than usual. They might be a bit more highly strung. They might need a bit more care. They might be asking to have their needs met, and you might think, oh my God, they're so demanding. Bloody hell. Why can't they just give me a break? But it's also, I always think this part of the chart is, it also shows what we're not prepared to accept in ourselves, I think, from my own opinion. So you might find that if you're finding them to be demanding, the first question to ask yourself is, where are my demands not being met? And then if all of a sudden some stuff comes up, like you don't feel seen because somebody else is being seen, you know, that's the great thing about the 7th house. It shows you where you're not attending to yourself, where you're attending to other people. So that's the first part. About the 2nd to the 4th is you need to attend to yourself first before you deal with what might appear to be demands from other people. But also on the 2nd, that's Tuesday, there's an exact sextile between Pluto and Venus. Now, Venus has just gone into your 2nd house. So this is where you might be feeling quite enthusiastic to get things moving in your career, like, you know, earning money, getting your money sorted, feeling like you've got all the resources. You might be starting your Christmas shopping. I don't know. If you're like me, you'll be doing it the day before, if at all. But anyway, you know, with Venus coming to the 2nd house, you know, this is a sign that you're starting to get all your resources sorted around you, and you're starting to feel kind of confident. It feels quite nice having nice things around you, you know. But this sextile to Pluto, I think, is helping you to feel more secure at home. So the things you're getting around you, I think you're making yourself safe, and it's brilliant. So it's funny, isn't it, that you're making yourself safe, you're making yourself feel calm at home, like resting your nervous system, and then it feels like other people around you are a bit demanding. So just, you know, go easy on yourself, put yourself first. Now on Thursday the 4th, we've got the full moon in Gemini. This is going to be interesting because the full moon is always when the sun is in one sign and the moon is exactly opposite, like exactly 180 degrees. And so the moon's going to be here at 13 degrees, the sun's going to be at 13 degrees. And interestingly, we've also got the moon's nodes, the south node and the north node, creating a square with all of these. Now, squares can be quite tight, and the nodes are really showing your karmic direction. And, you know, when things are working with the nodes, you often get a sort of moment of clarity and illumination, especially with a Gemini full moon, which is absolutely bringing you information, like this sudden flash, this sudden information. If you think Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Mercury is a very fast mental planet. So this is a fast awakening, this moment of clarity. Now, this is happening in the 8th house. So along with the theme of partners maybe being a bit needy, pulling you out of yourself, the 8th house really shows where you want to be as deep and intimate with your partners as possible, and where you feel judged by them, and also where you are judging them. So blame, shame, guilt, anger, resentment all come up in this part of the chart. And so you might find that if you haven't attended to yourself ahead of time, that by the time the full moon comes along, it's reached a fever pitch. So my advice really is start sorting yourself out. Look after yourself first, so that, you know, your partners do not drain you. Now, this also represents other people's money, the shared resources that you're working with. It's also quite sensuous and sexual, which can be really fantastic at the time of the full moon. But these squares are really prompting you that this is a much bigger pattern, something else is happening. Now, with the south node here in the 11th house, it's really showing you what you've already done really well. You know, you're really good at working with other people. You're really good at sort of intuiting other people's needs and making it work really well. And so what you're currently learning with the nodal pattern, and only until the end of July of next year, is how to fully embrace yourself and to fully develop what you are passionate about and fully go full in on you. I can't imagine putting any more fulls in that, but it's funny, isn't it, with Scorpio rising? I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, Scorpio, oh, so full of themselves, you know, so determined, so selfish is one of the words that gets sometimes levied around. And yet with the full moon, the north node here, to me, I think you're being reminded to develop what you're passionate about, because you've actually forgotten about it. I think we can get a bit gaslit, you know, people saying, selfish, all you worry about is yourself. And then you start kind of proving the counter, you start going into a different pattern. And so you've done this pattern of showing how collaborative you are. You need to get it back in balance. So at the time of this full moon, not only do you need to be attending to your needs more, but you're meant to be attending to your vision more, not other people's vision, not the shared vision, but your vision. And this is going to come up as a comment, I know, in next week's forecast as well, because there's other things going on. See, the next day on the 5th, the sun is still in this square with the nodes, really showing that for you to really shine and for your career, your money, your resources to start flooding in, you have to be doing something that is lifting you up and makes you feel absolutely alive. And then Mars in a trine to Chiron. Mars is also in the 2nd house, really showing you that, yeah, you're absolutely chomping at the bit to get things moving. You know, there's so much enthusiasm to develop your career and to earn more money and to feel the happies. You know, when you feel valued, it does feel good and you're ready to take action on it. And so this trine to Chiron, I think, is lovely. To me, it feels like, yes, I feel this sense of self-esteem. I know my value. And all of a sudden, as you know your value, isn't it funny how your health just gets a bit better? So you feel, yeah, I feel great. So I think actually, you know, from the 1st, when I was saying you might be a bit worn out, to the 5th, which is on Friday, you're realizing that the more contented you feel in yourself, the more you see the value in yourself, the better your health feels. Funny that. And then as we come up to Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th, we've got this lovely moon coming into the sign of Cancer. Now, this is where you might want to drift off a bit and dream and be as big dreamer as you want to be. The moon in Cancer is super soft. But in your 9th house, this is adventurous. This is wanting to not be penned in. You're wanting to kind of dream away a little bit and to go on an adventure. It's a great time to go somewhere new, go for a walk, see a beautiful vista, go to water for sure. Now, on this day, we've got Mercury down here, which is now direct, in an exact trine with Jupiter, and the next day an exact trine to Saturn. And by the end of the week, the moon's in on this as well, you know, really creating and I would say stabilizing this water trine. Now, this is something I didn't say at the start. This week and into next week, the pattern of this autumn, which has been the oppositions to Uranus, that's definitely been a big theme, and then the reconstructing water trines that have been happening. You see, we had Mars here first creating this trine. He moved away. Then we had the sun creating this trine. We also had Mercury creating this trine a bit earlier, and he went retrograde and has gone back into it. We've also had Venus in this corner position creating this trine. But this is the last of these personal planets. Obviously, the moon goes through this point every month, but you know, the moon kind of comes in fleetingly and then moves off. So this is the last of the main psychological personal changes you're going through to do with this lovely grand water trine. And this is going through your 1st, your 5th, and your 9th. So this is all about self-expression. You know, there's meant to be this beautiful flow of intuition, a beautiful flow of self-knowing, that is creative, it's soft, it's psychic, it's really tapped in, and it is expanding you, it's expanding your vision, not anyone else's vision, your vision for freedom. Like the more you can hone in on and like tune into freedom, you can expand on it. And it's about you enjoying your work, enjoying your life, and enjoying that feeling of passion. This isn't about living a life that you look back at and think, bloody hell, that just went in a blink of an eye, and what was it for? This is about you waking up to your purpose. And so I think this last quarter of autumn, I think this has really been awakening you to your inner purpose. And so at the end of this week, yeah, it's a time to feel nourished, but don't forget to tune into your greatest vision of freedom and passion, because that energy is around and it's going to bring you into the next week. And I think it would be really good to do some form of, I don't know, kind of inner ceremony with yourself, to just capture it, reflect on it, and don't let it go. So I hope that's been helpful for you, Scorpio. Now, if you like the way that I talk about astrology and you want more, there's more of me and my work in my membership on School. It's Feel Good Astrology. It's school, SKOOL.com, where I do Monday to Friday forecasts, also weekly forecasts on love and also career for all 12 signs. From January, I'm also going to be doing lessons. So it's like a regular lesson schedule that you'll be able to tune into, like drop in with your chart, and we can examine things together. If you want to work with me on a monthly basis and really like take a good look at your chart from a gazillion different angles, obviously not really a gazillion, but as many as we can do in an hour a month, then I'm looking for people to work with from the perspective of an astrological mentorship. If you think you would be a great candidate and you would love to explore and deep dive your chart on a monthly basis with me, then just get in touch. There's limited places, but I do still have a couple. So all the details are below in the show notes, also on the channel page for my YouTube. So anyway, have a wonderful week ahead and hope to catch up with you all soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.